A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant development in the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, U.S. President Donald Trump's special envoy to Ukraine and Russia, retired Lieutenant General Kellogg, arrived in Kyiv on Monday. This visit comes amid growing anticipation of a potential shift in the Trump administration's approach to the more than three-year war between Ukraine and Russia. Last week, President Trump hinted at making a major statement regarding Russia, raising expectations for a new direction in U.S. foreign policy. The urgency of the situation cannot be overstated, as the war has escalated, with civilian casualties reaching alarming levels. In June alone, the United Nations reported that 232 civilians were killed and 1,343 were wounded, marking the highest monthly casualties in 3 years. The conflict has intensified, with Russia launching 10 times more drones and missiles compared to the same period last year, and Trump has expressed increasing frustration with Russian President Vladimir Putin's refusal to engage in meaningful peace talks. Trump has often touted his relationship with Putin, suggesting that Russia was more willing than Ukraine to negotiate a peace deal. However, the relentless attacks on Ukrainian cities, including the capital Kyiv, have strained Trump's patience. Just last month, he publicly urged Putin to stop the bombardments, stating, "He'll talk so beautifully, and then he'll bomb people at night. We don't like that." Amidst this backdrop, Trump confirmed that the U.S. is sending much-needed Patriot air defense missiles to Ukraine to help fend off Russia's escalating aerial assaults. This decision has sparked discussions about the European Union's role in the conflict, with Trump claiming that the EU would reimburse the U.S. for the sophisticated weaponry being sent. However, it's essential to note that EU treaties prohibit the bloc from purchasing weapons directly, leading to member countries independently supplying arms to Ukraine. The EU has established the European Peace Facility to facilitate these transactions and backfill the military stocks of member nations. As the situation unfolds, the dynamics of the conflict are shifting, with Republican Senator Lindsey Graham asserting that the war is nearing an inflection point. Graham emphasized that the Trump administration is showing a growing interest in supporting Ukraine's defense against Russia's full-scale invasion, a stance Trump had previously dismissed as a waste of taxpayer money. In the coming days, you'll see weapons flowing at a record level to help Ukraine defend themselves, Graham stated on CBS Face the Nation. As Kellogg engages in discussions in Kyiv, the agenda will focus on defense strategies, enhancing security cooperation, and addressing sanctions. Andriy Yermak, head of Ukraine's presidential office, underscored that Russia does not want a ceasefire and reiterated Trump's principle of peace through strength. Meanwhile, Russian forces continue to launch devastating aerial strikes, exemplified by a recent attack in Shostka, which resulted in fatalities and injuries, including those of children. The conflict remains dire, with both sides preparing for further escalation. As NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte arrives in Washington for talks with Trump and other officials, the world watches closely to see how U.S. policy may evolve in response to Russia's aggression and Ukraine's desperate need for support. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.